Samurai Maiden, it's the easiest sell in gaming history. The game doesn't even need to be good with a name like that. But I guess if you're thinking about spending $60 on it, it might be nice if the gameplay was alright. And that's what we're gonna find out today. Is it any good? Before we get into it, do the best thing you'll do today. Hit that subscribe button and that bell button on this channel and on my brand new channel, A Bit More Jordan for a lot more me. Long retrospectives on classic games. Samurai Maiden is out right now in Asia and Japan, both digitally and physically. It's releasing in the West next week, but only digitally. And it's published by D3, who, if you didn't know, it's basically Bandai's label they use when they're a bit too embarrassed to put their real name on it. It's an Alan Smithies sort of situation, because they're usually cheap cash-ins. But this is not. Samurai Maiden stars a young girl called Tsumugi, a schoolgirl who somehow gets transported back to the Sengoku era, just at the point of when Nobunaga is going to be assassinated. How or why? Well, there's no time to chat about it because the building is on fire and demons are roaming the castle for blood. Well, okay, it seems there is plenty of time to chat about the situation. Yeah, they're still prattling on. There's a fire. Come on. It turns out that a few ninjas had a prophetic vision about this girl Tsumugi, and they claim she is the chosen one, to that effect. The Demon King is being summoned, and it's time to delve into the underworld to put it to rest so feudal Japan won't be slaughtered. They're already doing a grand job of doing it to each other. They don't need anyone to interfere with their endless war and murder. Keep your nose out, demons. The plot is incredibly silly, and our heroine is hardly a beacon of perfection. As for example, she asks if she can borrow Nobunaga's mobile so she can call her friends. Yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously despite the lengthy cutscenes. This is borderline visual novel stuff. And especially at the start, your VN senses will be tingling, but it's not quite there. The three ninja girls will accompany our schoolgirl as they delve down deeper and deeper into hell, coming over monster after monster in fun and surprisingly tough action. Believe it or not, I actually quite like Samurai Maiden, and not just because the premise taps into my Neanderthal brain, it's actually fun. I was not expecting that. Yeah, this is a fun game, for what it's going for at least. It's an action game with similar sort of mechanics to a Masu game, you know, Dynasty Warriors, but the level progression is completely different. Our lady has a weak attack as well as a strong attack, and using a combination of these can produce a combo. Who'd have thought that? But it's not all you can do, since you'll be calling in your busty allies to help a lot, since the three extra girls provide most of the fun. If their affection meter is filled up, you can press A to let them do their special attack, and you'll constantly be switching between them to keep some of the tougher enemies at bay. You're gradually introduced to their specialties over the course of a few levels. They have their attacks, of course, but there's much more than that. First, you're with Io, who's a kunai thrower. Her special ability is basically the item user. You can equip 3 items in a level, be it a healing vat, a bomb, or a mine, and holding the ZR button you can direct her when and where to plonk it down, which is always funny as she saunters up to a boss to lay down an explosive and often taking the blast right in her own face. But it's fine, these girls don't have health bars. Then there's Hagane, who has a grappling hook which she can use to scorpion enemies closer to you. I didn't find much usage in that, but I do like the idea of her telling me to come over here. Sorry. She can even make chests come closer to you. But the main thing she can do is the swinging mechanic, which is used during the light platforming segments. It's a tacked on thing, but it does break up the action, which is very much needed. And I wish there was more of it. I'd like to explore this world a bit more. Then there's Kamimi, who can pick up items that are laying around. Convenient things such as bombs. Who put them there? Once you've got all 3 girls, you're switching them into battle while hacking and slashing with Tsugumi, and you've got yourself a pretty fun time. It can be difficult too, and that's on the standard difficulty. I had to retry levels quite often. One of the gimmicks of Samurai Maiden is the affection system, because this game is pure, unadulterated Yuri bait. Oh yeah, these bunch of ladies are gonna be falling for each other. The more you use them, the more they love you, which is not the kind of relationship advice I would personally give, but the game thinks it's okay. The more you use a lady, the more she loves you, and the more cutscenes you can witness between them, and doing so not only gives shippers something to cream about, but they also give gameplay bonuses like unlocking new combos. Admittedly, I didn't pay much attention to these cutscenes because it's not my bag, but I did them to make sure I kept Tsumugi in top fighting shape. You can even upgrade your weapons with money you earn in battle. The gameplay is fun, simple but fun. Don't go in expecting like Neo or something like that. This is definitely erring towards Dynasty Warriors in terms of mechanics, but that's not a bad thing because you can switch your brain off and just enjoy the dumbness and the perviness. Oh yeah, did I mention this is one for the deviants out there? Oh wait, I'm not one of those. Oh yeah, don't you worry, there's plenty of big booby ladies to go around for everyone, and also some awkward panty shots if you're truly special. And like a series I'm going to compare this to in a second, as you take damage, your clothes deteriorate. Yeah, her school dress gets torn and holes appear, there's dirt and dust on her legs, and you can almost smell the sweat. Samurai Maiden is basically a slightly less embarrassing version of Senran Kagura, especially the hack and slash ones, I forget the names. This one you probably could play on a bus with a granny sitting next to you and still nursing a semi. It's got the perfect balance. Just don't whip out the photo mode, okay? Actually, you know what this game gives me the feeling of? Valis. If Valis was made in the modern era, in 3D, I'm pretty sure Samurai Maiden is channeling some of that energy. It doesn't have much ambition in the level design. You basically walk from one closed off fighting area to another and fight waves of enemies, but it disguises that well in some of the levels. Honestly, I'm just genuinely surprised at how much I enjoyed playing Samurai Maiden. Now, despite being from D3, this is not a budget title, at least the pricing, because at full whack it's 50 quid in the UK for the base game and £60 for the deluxe edition, which seems to only include extra costumes and music. In the US, it's $60 and $75 respectively. So yeah, not cheap, but as an incredibly niche title, sometimes that's just what you gotta pay. It is pricey, I'm not gonna get away from that, and I don't wholly recommend it paying full digital price. But the best way to go is definitely physically, because this is available physically in Japan and Asian regions, and it does include English on the cartridge, and can play on any Switch. And it's probably cheaper overall if you take into account our discount code, SWTV5 for 5% off, and the free shipping if you spend over $100. Plus, you get to keep it forever or sell it on once you've had your fill. It has resale value. It only makes sense. If you want to be a physical king, check the links below in the description and the pinned comment. That's where you can find it. You can order it for yourself and get a nice physical cartridge. If you click our link and buy it, you also support us at the same time, and we thank you ever so kindly. For that price, you know, visually, I'm rather impressed. I went into this game really worried about the Switch version because, let's face it, budget 3D games that are trying to use some horsepower don't always end up well for the system. But damn, I was very, very impressed with both visuals and performance. The visuals pop off the screen immensely. It's not blurry or fuzzy, it's crisp, clear, and shiny. My god, does their hair shine. I need some of their conditioner, whatever they're using. Probably Pantene Pro V, right? The frame rate too, while not perfect, you know, it does sync here and there. It is way better than I ever expected. I mean, you know, I was expecting the worst, but this is pretty good. You know, maybe some frame rate nutcases will take umbrage, but it does a good job on the Switch. I'm thinking it was used as the target console for development and then built upwards for stronger consoles, which is, you know, that should always be the way to go. And personally, I don't think you're getting a lesser experience on the Switch than, say, the PS5. I mean, really, how much shinier could their bonnets get? Not very. The character models are fantastic. The animation is great, perhaps a little over the top. I mean, you know, their reactions are quite funny. The environments are simple, you know, basic geometry and textures, but it does the job well, and the art style makes it work good enough. I'm really quite happy with how this has turned out on the Nintendo Switch. Overall, it's a game called Samurai Maiden, published by a company that make a living off cheap cash-ins. It has no right to be any good, but it is. I mean, it's not amazing, but if you enjoy hacking and slashing with big booby ninjas, then it's great. Who doesn't enjoy that? Getting into a flow of unleashing attack after attack, getting combos in, dodging enemy swings, it's all been done before, and this won't revolutionize anything in terms of gameplay. I do need to get that point across, but as dumb fun that puts up a challenge, has a cheeky vibe to it, looks great on the Switch, especially that damn shiny hair, I think this is going to be an underappreciated gem. I can already see some pretentious outlets giving this like a 6 out of 10, but I'm here to have fun, and it was fun. Fun was given. An 8 out of 10. Yeah, I went and did that. My review, my choice. If you want to pick this up physically, please consider using the links in the description to help support us so much. If you want it digitally, you can get it now on the Japanese eShop. There's Japanese eShop credit below also, or you can wait a few days and get the Western digital release SwitchWatch.net for eShop credit. Please go check out some of our other stuff. Check out yesterday's video about Romancing Saga. Watch that review. Monday's Let's Get Physical series. This was mentioned on Monday, and my brand new channel, A Bit More Jordan, for a lot more me. Big retrospectives on awesome retro games.